Waking up in Santa Clara County was once coupled with the voices of songbirds that littered the morning air with an array of tweets and chirps, coming from the diverse bird population that inhabited the area. In the 1970s, though, people began to notice that the birds they grew to expect outside their windows while sipping their morning coffee were not there to ring in the passing days.
People noticed right away when they stopped seeing bluebirds. They noticed, and you'll hear this from people all the time, they'll notice that they don't hear the songbirds as much as they used to in their neighborhood. I have comments from people all the time. I grew up in this area and I used to hear all the chickadees in the morning, and I would hear the Buick's wrens, and I would hear all of these birds, and I don't hear them anymore.
The people of Santa Clara County decided not to give up on their morning ritual and hatched a plan to restore the sounds and sights of native songbirds. The first step was to find out what was causing the decline in songbird populations. The answer was simple: a loss of habitat.
The other problem that the bluebirds were having is that they need a cavity in a tree in order to survive. They like to get to do this in sick and dying dead trees. And eventually people are going to say, that tree's going to fall on my house, my car, or somebody, and we need to take it out. So they remove the trees that these holes are in.
While still protecting their homes from falling dead trees, people decided the best way to rehabilitate the bird population was to provide a different kind of cavity for them to nest in. This cavity came in the form of a nest box. Nest boxes vary in size and shape depending on the bird that is intended to inhabit it. For songbirds, these boxes are about the size of a shoebox with a hole about 1.5 inches wide to keep small birds in and large birds out. Today, the Santa Clara Valley Audubon Society has more than 1,200 nest boxes placed along trails, in parks, as well as on people's private properties as part of the Cavity Nesters Recovery Program established by the Society in 1997. This year, the Audubon Society is forming a partnership with the City of Saratoga to draw volunteers from the community to place nest boxes in open spaces around the city, restoring the songs of chickadees, bluebirds, and nuthatches to their morning rituals.
So the City of Saratoga has some open space, and they felt it would be good to participate in the Cavity Nester Recovery Program and put in some nest boxes and try and basically build up the populations of cavity nesters in their area. And of course these are populations that naturally, if it wasn't for man, would probably be higher than they are. However, because we remove dead and dying trees in order to save our property from having them fall on them, they would be higher. So we're kind of trying to mitigate putting in nest boxes to replace the cavities that would otherwise be there.
The Audubon Society will hold orientations and training sessions for the volunteers, making sure that their work provides the right conditions for the birds that will be using the nesting boxes.
And the bluebird trail and the bluebird boxes, they are going to be located in a meadow setting because of the way that the bluebirds are foraging for their food. Bluebirds are going to be eating grubs, they're going to be eating caterpillars, grasshoppers. So they are looking for an area where you have kind of low grass, where they can hover in place, and that's a really unique feature of the bluebird.
But even with the help of volunteers and the use of nest boxes, songbirds continue to face challenges to their population growth. Predators account for some of these hardships. Snakes, for instance, have been known to climb posts that support the nest boxes and prey on the birds living inside them. But even other birds like the English sparrow are detrimental to the songbirds in the region.
If they want to take an occupied nest box, they'll go in and pull the occupants out. The babies, the eggs, whatever. English sparrow, what they do is the male goes and he gets a nest box, and then he advertises for a female. She comes in and they use the nest box. They raise raise a clutch of eggs, and then the female flies away, and the male attracts another one in, and they literally will have 2 or 3 broods right there.
Although there is no data that determines the exact increase in the region's songbird population since the program began, the highest number of fledglings was reported last year. The 2,400 that were recorded came from only half of the nest boxes in the area. The other half went undocumented. Goldberg says that even through anecdotal evidence, the bird population is on the rise. With the help of the Santa Clara Valley Audubon Society and with continued efforts like Saratoga's, the region's songbirds have started serenading Santa Clara County residents again, as they hit their snooze buttons, drink their morning coffee, and as they leave their houses in the morning. For the Peninsula Press, this has been Whitney Mountain reporting.